Volunteer at a small dog rescue messaged me recently. She said her team is snippy, owners are burnt out from repeating themselves, grant applications are slipping through the cracks, and nobody can figure out why everything feels like it's on fire all the time. So I want to talk to her and to every single rescue person watching who has felt exactly the same thing. If you want to rescue, foster for one, volunteer at one, or sit on the board of one, this video is for you. The truth nobody tells you when you start is most rescues do not collapse because people don't care. They collapse from lack of systems. I am a systems girl. And the longer you operate without structure, the more your best people start to resent each other and they just go away. Today, I'm going to walk you through 8 specific changes that will pull your rescue out of survival mode and into something that actually feels sustainable. Save this video, send it to your board. We're getting into it. Before we get into the fixes, I want to say something important because I know some of you are watching this feeling like you failed. You have not failed. You haven't. What you're experiencing isn't a failure. It's what happens when growth outpaces structure. Here's what's probably happening simultaneously. Nobody is fully clear on their role. Communication is scattered across text messages, Facebook Messenger, email, Slack, group chats, and spreadsheet. The same 5 questions gets asked every single week. The most responsible people become the emotional jumping ground for everyone. Volunteers start feeling criticized or unappreciated. Leadership becomes exhausted and reactive instead of proactive. And grants and fundraising gets pushed aside because you're stuck surviving the day and taking care of the animals. This is not a character flaw. That is structural overload, and it's fixable. So let's fix it. The first thing you need is what I call core systems, not giant binders. Nobody reads binders. They become decorative gilt furniture on a shelf in someone's living room. I want you to identify 3 to 5 core workflows in your rescue and document each one on a single page. That's it, 1 page. The non-negotiables are usually your intake process, your adoption process, your medical workflow, your volunteer communication, and your emergency decision-making. I would throw fundraising in there because rescues do a lot of outside fundraising, happy hours, things like that. Here's what a single page looks like for intake. Dog arrives, intake form completed, vaccines, spay, neuter, medical done, foster assigned, photos taken, bio written, dog posted to social media within 24 hours. That's the entire system, and it works great if you have a vet on site or if you have a veterinarian that is readily accessible. If you do not, and you are a brick and mortar rescue who is pulling dogs out of shelters, they generally come ready to go. If you are pulling dogs owner surrenders, you need to have a separate intake process with how you're going to get those dogs vetted in a timely manner so you can get them posted and they can go through your adoption process and get out the door. So it's 2 different intake processes depending on where the dog is coming from. But it's a process and anyone can follow it. The moment you have it written down, half the chaos disappears because people stop improvising every single task from scratch. Number 2 is hierarchy. I know, I said the word, take a breath, it's okay. Volunteer organizations often try to avoid hierarchy because they want everybody to feel equal and friendly. The intention's great. The result is that nobody owns anything. The result is everything quietly rots. You need clear leadership, clear leads. Even if they're all volunteers, who's in charge of what? A volunteer coordinator, a foster coordinator, an adoption coordinator, a fundraising and grants person, and a medical lead. It would be great if your medical lead was a vet tech. You may be able to find a volunteer vet tech to work with you part-time that can do all of your medical scheduling. That would be great. We have a municipal shelter that adopts about 700-800 animals a year and brings in even more. And we have 1 adoption coordinator. It can be done with a process. Not everyone helps with everything. That sentence has destroyed more rescues than parvo. Everybody doing everything does not work. When one person owns an area, decisions get made faster, mistakes caught earlier, and your most overworked person finally stops being the answer to every question. Fix 3. If your leaders are constantly repeating the same instructions, the system is broken, not the volunteers. Write that down. The system is broken, not the volunteers. What you need to do is build a small library of answers, canned responses for common adopter questions, checklists for routine tasks, short training videos, even just 2 seconds long or 2 minutes long, recorded on your phone, an FAQ document, an onboarding packet for new volunteers. A simple Google Drive or a single Slack workspace will change your life, literally change your life. Rescue operations run on communication, and bad communication creates resentment. Faster than underfunded vet bills. Pick one platform, just one. Now, we use 2. Shelter uses 2. We use Slack for all of our communication, and we have a Google Drive for all of our documents. We're also a brick and mortar shelter. Stop using 6 apps. Your brain is begging you. Number 4, and this is what nobody wants to talk about. Rescues run on guilt. People feel guilty saying no, guilty taking breaks, guilty missing messages, and they get snippy because they're emotionally overloaded. They have no permission to admit it. You need to normalize having shifts. Response expectation. Volunteers are not required to answer messages at 11 p.m. Time off. Saying no without being punished or guilt tripped for it. I'm the director of the shelter. I don't answer a message at 11 p.m. unless it's from one of my kids or the police department with an emergency. Seriously, don't do it. You have to have your time off. Burned out volunteers become cynical volunteers, and cynical volunteers poison your culture quietly. In the group chat, in the parking lot, in the messages they send to new people that start with, just so you know, this is how this really works. You cannot save animals if your humans are collapsing. Fix number 5, 1 operations meeting a week, 30 minutes, hard stop. Agenda is the same every time. Urgent dogs, adoptions, medical cases, staffing gaps, fundraising, upcoming events, and 1 operational issue to improve that week. That's the whole meeting. It can be on Slack, it can be on Zoom, it can be in a Google Meet. It's not a 2-hour emotional spiral where Karen recounts a Facebook comment from last April. Love Karen, Karen needs structure. Rescue people can turn meetings into grief theater if nobody moderates them, and grief theater is not operations. If something deeper needs processing, schedule a separate conversation for it. Protect the operations meeting. Number 6 is grants. This is a big one, especially for rescues. This is the one this subscriber specifically asked me about, so I want to spend a second here. Most rescues do not fail to apply for grants because they don't care. They fail because nobody owns it. Records are messy, metrics aren't tracked, and leadership is drowning in the day-to-day. So the grant deadline arrives, goes, and nobody even noticed. You don't fix grants by trying harder on grants. You fix grants by fixing your operations first. Then you assign 1 grant lead. Just one. You create a single grant folder in your shared drive with all of your supporting documentation, your 501c3 letter, your financials, your statistics that you track every single month. Got to start tracking those. The numbers you need, intake totals, adoption totals, live release rate, medical cases, spay and neuter, numbers, volunteer hours, any community outreach activities. Once that data exists in one place, grant applications stop being terrifying. You're not scrambling to invent numbers 2 days before a deadline. You're copying and pasting from a folder that you already maintain. That's the entire grant process. It's one folder. Number 7, and this one matters more than people want to admit. Many rescues worship passion while ignoring behavior. Say that again. Someone is technically a great foster, but talks down to every new volunteer. Someone shows up every weekend, but gossips constantly. Someone donates a lot, but treats the staff, which is volunteers, like servants. A healthy rescue culture has actual rules of engagement. We communicate respectfully. We solve problems directly with the person involved, not in a side channel. We document things. We don't gossip. We assume good intent first. We protect both the mission and the humans inside of it. Passion is not a personality. It's not a free pass to behave badly. People will stay where they feel psychologically safe. That includes volunteers, especially volunteers, because they are not getting paid. The culture is their entire compensation package. If they don't like what they're doing, they're not going to stay. And if your best people keep quietly leaving, your culture is broken. And no amount of "we love dogs so much" can paper over that. The last one, you made it. Number 8, don't try to fix the rescue. I'm serious. Do not walk into your next meeting with a 47-point reorganization plan. You will exhaust everyone and accomplish nothing. Pick 3 things, just 3. 1 communication platform, 1 adoption workflow, 1 volunteer onboarding system. That's it. Stabilize those 3 things. Live with it for the next 2 months, then move to the next layer. The rescues that survive long-term are not the ones with the biggest hearts. Every rescue supposedly has a big heart. That's the entry fee. The rescue that survives are the ones with repeatable systems that reduce emotional exhaustion. Are you emotionally exhausted running a rescue? Yes, you are. But your rescue will not keep beating if you do not reduce that. If you're watching this and you recognize your rescue in any way of what I've just said, I want you to know 2 things. First, you're not failing. You're just growing past your current structure. Or maybe you don't have a structure. Those are very different problems. Second, you don't have to do all 8 of these this week. Pick 1, pick the easiest one. Build momentum. Get some buy-in from your people. If this helped you, do me a favor. Drop a comment telling me which fix you started with first. I read every one, and I want to know what's actually happening on the ground at your rescue. If you know someone on a board or in a leadership role at a small rescue, send them this video. This is kind of a thing that's a lot easier to hear from a third party than from the person sitting next to you. We also have a video, which I will tag here, about it with our adoption process. If you have a strong adoption process and 1 adoption coordinator, that will solve a lot of your problems. Subscribe if you want more videos like this on running better rescues and shelters. See you in the next one.